Client asks a question that you're not 100% sure about, and your brain screams, "You have to answer this now." If you hesitate, they'll start doubting you. If you admit you don't know, they'll wonder why they're even paying you. So what you do is what we all do. You say something reasonable, promise you'll circle back with more detail, and hope they didn't notice that little spike of panic. And then you pay for that moment with a brutal hidden tax, which is hours of unbillable research and that sick feeling that you might have missed something really important, and the fear that one shaky answer could quietly damage your reputation. If you're a lawyer, you're not hearing a story from my past, you're hearing the exact same loop you've probably been running before. And the worst part, the whole time you're punishing yourself like this, you're solving the wrong problem. I used to live in that loop. A client would ask me something outside of my area of deep expertise, say financial arrangement rules for tax. I'd give them a partial answer, promise I'd get back to them, and then disappear for 3 or 4 hours doing research behind the scenes. I'd then call them back with a really solid answer, maybe 10 minutes of billable time. And on paper, the client was pretty happy. But what actually happened was that I just donated hours of unbillable time, and I was still quietly worried I'd missed something an actual expert would have caught. So everybody lost. So I was talking about this with my performance coach, Hayden, and he told me a story that completely flipped how I looked at it. You see, what Hayden does is that he works with business owners and corporates on mental human performance. Hayden had landed a big contract with a company, and part of the solution involved running personality profile assessments for the client's team. He knew those assessments well enough. He could have done what I used to do, to run it himself to prove that he knew his stuff and grind it through. That would have been my move. The old me would have said, I can figure this out. I'll deliver it. I'll show them I know what I'm doing. But that's not what he did. He brought in a colleague, someone who was a genuine specialist. And he told the client very plainly, I'm bringing in XYZ. She's the expert in this field. I'm going to design the overall solution and lead the engagement. So here's the real contrast. Me, back then, I was, if I'm not the one doing everything, my credibility drops, versus Hayden, who went, if I'm the one doing everything, I'm not doing my actual job. And that's the shift. I've been treating credibility as having every answer and touching every task. Hayden treated credibility as owning the outcome and curating the best people. And the client's reaction made it obvious who was right. They weren't paying him to be the expert in every tool. They were paying him to make sure the right people did the right work and that the whole thing actually solved their problem. And that's pretty much when it hit me. I've been chasing the wrong kind of credibility, and I realized that clients don't come to us to deliver the solution. They come to us for us to own the problem. You see, your value isn't in how much you personally touch. Your value is in being the person who takes responsibility for the problem until it's solved. They don't care whether you're the one buried in the background at 11 p.m. They care that their problem, through you, goes away. And when we really get that, a few things shift. From number one, I don't know, stops being a threat and becomes a cue to bringing in the right expert. 2, you stop chasing depth at every single sub-niche, and you start curating the best people for each piece. 3, you stop counting hours you personally did and start measuring the outcomes you're on the hook for. Our real job isn't to do everything ourselves. Our real job is to own the problem and assemble the right solution. Clients don't need you to be the entire solution. They need you to be the person accountable for the result. For small firm owners, this plays out in very specific ways. You say yes to questions outside your real depth. You spend nights reading cases to every possible area, not because that's your highest value, but because you're scared of being caught not knowing. Someone asks, say for example, a tricky employment question, and your first thought is, I can probably figure this out. But if your job is to own the problem, not to personally be the best at everything, a better question is, who should be answering this? Because the firms that grow fastest aren't led by lawyers who know everything. They're led by lawyers who know what they own and who they need around them to deliver it properly. So ask yourself, Where in your firm are you still being the good enough person instead of the person who owns the problem and brings in the best solutions? That's essentially the fork in the road. You can keep running the same loop, paying the hidden tax and time, anxiety, and diluted work, or you can decide that your job is to own the problem and build the right structures around you. If you're a small firm owner thinking, yep, that's me, I'm stuck in that old model, that's exactly the work I do with law firm owners. We redesign your role so you're not the person trying to know everything, but you become the person accountable for the result with the right people and the systems around you to deliver it. If you're ready to stop paying that hidden tax and make that shift, use the link in the description and book a call with me.